Today, we're diving into a story that feels like it's ripped straight from a spy novel. It's a story of espionage, of betrayal, and a deadly secret, all contained on a single USB drive. This is the story of Protocol 7.
I mean, just think about that for a second. The entire truth behind why 14 soldiers lost their lives was sitting on a tiny piece of hardware you could lose in your pocket. That's the core of the mystery we're going to unravel today.
So, where does a story like this even begin? Well, it starts in the dead of night, in a military hospital, and it all hinges on the last two words of a dying soldier.
Okay, so picture this. It's 17 minutes past 3 in the morning. The hospital is quiet, almost eerily so. And a medic, her name is Oksana, is on duty. She's just been handed something by a soldier who's fading fast.
That soldier was Yevhen Kovalenko, and he was only 23 years old. Oksana had pulled him from the front lines just hours earlier, but his injuries were too severe. In his last few moments, though, he knew he had to pass something on to her.
So with what little strength he has left, Yevgen gives Oksana a USB drive, and he says just 2 words, Protocol 7. That's it. No context, no explanation, just a cryptic phrase and a piece of tech that's now a very, very dangerous puzzle in her hands.
So now Oksana is holding what she instinctively knows is a vital secret. But, a secret's no good if it's locked away. The big challenge for her is figuring out what on earth Protocol 7 is supposed to unlock. And of course, it's not going to be easy. She plugs it in and nothing. The whole drive is sealed tight behind layers and layers of heavy encryption. This tells you right away whatever is on here is incredibly sensitive and was never meant to be easily found. Now, Oksana knows this is way above her pay grade. She's smart about it. She doesn't try to guess passwords or anything like that. She immediately secures the drive, contacts a trusted tech specialist at headquarters, and they get to work on the painstaking process of cracking it. Every single move is careful and by the book.
And this is the question that's just hanging in the air the whole time. Why would a 23-year-old kid use his very last breath to pass this on? What kind of information could possibly be so important that he would die making sure someone found it?
And this is the moment of truth. The digital walls are about to come down. The encryption is about to break. And the secret that Yevhen died for is finally going to see the light of day. We're about to see the anatomy of a betrayal. And then it happens. A breakthrough. The decryption is successful. The files are open. For the very first time, Oksana is looking at exactly what was on that drive. The screen glows, and the secret is out. What they find is, well, it's a complete nightmare in data form. It's a spreadsheet of tactical military intelligence. We're talking exact coordinates for Ukrainian units, detailed troop positions, soldiers' names, and the specific dates and times for their movements. This wasn't just intelligence. It was basically a hit list. And you can see the cost of this leak in black and white. The data on the drive laid out how 10 separate Ukrainian units were targeted, and those targeted attacks led directly to the deaths of 14 soldiers. And this wasn't just about abstract numbers, no. The drive had their names. It turned this act of treason into a horrifically personal list of the fallen, with each one marked KIA, killed in action. Yevhen didn't just die protecting data. He died to expose why his comrades died. So, the what and the how are becoming tragically clear. But the biggest question, the who, is still a mystery. And the last files on this drive are about to reveal a final, jaw-dropping twist that takes this conspiracy way beyond the battlefield. This is the betrayal laid bare. This incredibly sensitive, life-or-death information about Ukrainian troop movements wasn't just stolen. It was actively, deliberately transmitted directly to Russian forces. Someone was feeding them a playbook. You have to ask yourself, who could do this? A betrayal this precise, this devastating? It couldn't be an accident. It had to come from a source with incredible access. So who was the architect of this tragedy? And here it is. Buried deep in the metadata, the source of the leak left behind a digital footprint. A signature. And when they traced it, it didn't point to a local mole or some commander in the field. No, the trail led directly to Washington. And that's where the story on the drive ends. It leaves us with a horrifying truth and a question that's so much more terrifying than any enemy on the battlefield. What happens when the betrayal doesn't come from the person in front of you, but from an ally thousands of miles away.